So I've been playing sports my whole life. I've been around sort of like, I guess what you could call jocks my whole life, and the sort of language that's used, I knew it was wrong. I would wince, I would be annoyed by it, but I wouldn't say anything, I wouldn't do anything. And it's just sort of was so clear, the language that people use in texts and group chats when they're talking, and it's not limited to athletes, it's sort of like sort of society in general, but I think very prominent amongst guys, talking to other guys, and that sort of language leads to objectification of women. It is the objectification of women, and that, if you think of a woman as an object, it makes it a lot easier to live with yourself for sexually assaulting someone, for raping someone. And so I think that language that's used plays into it so much more than anybody even realizes. And then also there's this aspect that I think I've sort of felt, which is like this competition for masculinity, to assert and prove masculinity. And in that, women sort of become pawns in that like sort of sick game, which I think is also just so prominent in like leading to sexual assault in cases of rape.
I mean, we're already seeing change just within the walls of our school, and we're really, really excited to see what comes out of this. I've overheard people, and I've definitely been more conscious about it, but I've overheard people saying, like, responding to language that's inappropriate by saying, like, that's not cool, that's, like, super not appropriate at all, actually. I actually heard a guy stand up in the weight room, in the workout room downstairs, and be like, guys, that's not cool, like, that's not okay. And I was standing there and I had a total moment of, like, we're doing something. We're really changing people. And it's a moment that I'll never forget. And it's just the fact that people are feeling comfortable enough that, like, we're a group leading people to make a change is really, really special.
If someone doesn't seem capable of making good choices, I've seen so many people go up to them and be like, hey, I don't know if you're in the right mindset to be doing what you're doing. They'll pull them out and just make sure that they're safe, and just we're just making sure that we all have each other's backs at this point, and just the consent culture, like I said, is just cool now.
It's not, we can't expect that in a day nobody will say anything that's detrimental to women. Nobody will talk about sexual assault in a way that's sort of joking or horrible in that sense. But I think what we're seeing in the school is that when somebody makes a comment like that, when somebody says, sort of makes a joke about sexual assault, or makes a joke at the expense of women, then people are standing up to that. And that culture of sort of leaning on each other and on having each other's back in the school community is growing, and I think that's sort of the first step. In the future, the ideal goal is that nobody says those things, obviously, but for now, what's sort of growing in the school is this sense of checking each other